If you're going into a child custody case and you cannot afford an attorney, there's a couple things that you need to know right now and get started with today. Any decision that gets made in front of a judge in that hearing that takes 10 to 15 minutes and you get it wrong, you misfile something, you don't understand the right language of how to present yourself or present evidence, whatever mistake you make that hinders your case, that's going to create a decision that is going to absolutely affect the next couple months, possibly the next 3 to 5 years, or your child's entire life. That means because you were negligent in doing your due diligence as a father to fight in court, there's going to be a lifelong mistake that's going to affect the rest of your life and your child's life. One that was preventable. Okay, so first things first is every single court, every single county is different, and every judge is different. However, the general theme of this is what is in the best interest of the child. Now, in your mind, in your mom's mind, in your friend's mind, in your uncle's mind, the best interest of the child could be determined in one way. And you could say that she is horrible, you are great, and look, she has all these things and she's lied and had all these affairs, and I deserve to have the child. The court does not see things that way, and you need to understand this right now. Now, every court is going to be a little bit different, but generally it's going to be doctor's visits, who takes the child to school, who feeds the child, who buys the child clothes, who cares for the child in all the ways that that court sees. This is the number one baseline of how you are going to make your case, and this is problematic for a lot of men because a lot of men are busy working. A mom may be doing those things, but you are around that child every night, every day. But in the courts, your case is going to be made in that way. Now, the next thing you got to do if you can't afford a lawyer is what I would do is get some legal consultations, organize all of your evidence in that, have all the different questions that you have, prepare for it as much as possible, and get as many free legal consultations with attorneys as possible. If you can afford a paid consultation, do that as well. That could cost you anywhere from $200 to $400, and it could even go higher than that. What you're going to see there is you're going to see an attorney look over your evidence, give you a strategy and an idea of how the court is going to make their decisions and what wins cases and so on. Now, whether you can do that or not, this third thing is also really important, and this is that all of court cases are open to the public. If you go down to the county courthouse and go to the family law section, you can probably look it up online. You can see the schedule of the different hearings in family court for that day and even for that week. More importantly, if you know who your judge is, you should go and watch your judge. You should see how that judge rules. You should see how people get screwed over and have basically their lives and child custody situation ruined and dissolved right in front of them. You need to see the reality of this. Now, there's a whole bunch of male victims online who say if you go to the county courthouse, it's going to just make you realize how bad and hard it is to be a man. That's a great perspective to have if you want to be a loser. But what I tell my guys and what I encourage and what I learned myself was that if there is a chance of winning, I'm going to get it. You need to start looking at how people win, how people lose, and why. Of course, every judge could have their leaning. Of course, the system could be designed against you. But I'm going to tell you right now that there's much more to it than that. There are things filed wrong. There are things argued wrong. There are people that don't know how to address the court. There are people that don't understand that you only have 10 minutes in front of that judge. There are people that did not properly organize their evidence. There are people that don't understand that you might need to go to court multiple times. And if you're representing yourself, that's a lot cheaper to do than paying an attorney. Now, the last thing that I have for you on this is a perspective that I have in coaching men for 18 years on these things. Men that say they can't get an attorney are usually men that give up. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, every single one of the guys in my group, including myself, when we went to court to defend our cases, we did not have that money. We did not have an extra $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 just to get started on what we needed to do. And by all means, I'm not saying that is easy to come up with. What I am saying is that every single one of us had to work our asses off for our case, whether that was working a job or an extra job to get the money for our case, or if we had to work our cases on our own because this is what happens and probably why you're watching this video. How can I do it myself? You're going to have to do that too. There are going to be parts of this case that you are going to have to work your ass off. If you're working your ass off and it's for your kids and it's so important because of that, I want to make this point. If your kids are that important to you, why wouldn't you do the best possible strategy to win this? Which in my mind is you understand the law, you work your case as best you can, and in the whole process of that, hire the legal help necessary, usually an attorney to help guide you along in that case. When you don't know how to argue in front of a judge, get the money to hire a lawyer. It's going to make things better. So here's the point. you're gonna have to work really hard anyway. You're going to need a lot of support. I would start thinking about dividing that work into how you can make money as well as working your case instead of just only working your case. You have a situation right now that is unfair. I get it. So do you quit or do you take the strategy that works for men, that's been proven to work for men, to get it to work for you? Now I understand this is a very hard process. It's very difficult. There's a lot of moving parts. If you want help from this and you want me to help you with this, go to the link in my bio, sign up for my community. I'll work with you directly and I will show you how possible it is for you to win.